Picture this. You're shopping online for a new pair of headphones. They cost $200. You hesitate for a second until a small button appears beneath the price. Buy now, pay later, just $50 today. Suddenly, the purchase doesn't feel expensive anymore. You click the button, tell yourself it's only $50, and move on with your day. A week later, you use the same payment option to buy new clothes, then a new phone accessory, maybe a coffee machine you've been wanting. Each purchase feels small because you're only paying a fraction up front. A few months later, you open your banking app and wonder why your paycheck disappears so quickly every month. Here's the strange part. You don't remember making any huge purchases. There wasn't one reckless shopping spree. There wasn't one luxury item that emptied your account. Instead, there were dozens of tiny monthly payments quietly waiting for your paycheck before you even received it. And that's the real danger of buy now, pay later. Most people think buy now, pay later is simply another payment method. They believe it's basically the same as paying with cash, just spread over time. But psychologically, it changes something much more important than your payment schedule. It changes how your brain experiences spending. For thousands of years, human beings have naturally felt a little uncomfortable when giving up something valuable. Spending money creates a small amount of psychological pain. That uncomfortable feeling isn't a flaw. It's actually a protection mechanism. It forces us to pause and ask ourselves a simple question. Do I really need this? Buy now, pay later quietly removes that pause. Instead of asking whether something is worth $200, your brain now compares it to $50 today. The product hasn't become cheaper, only the way your brain measures it has changed. Imagine walking into a supermarket where every item is displayed at only 25% of its actual price, with the remaining amount hidden in tiny print underneath. Almost everything would suddenly feel affordable. That's exactly how buy now, pay later changes your perception. The full cost disappears from your attention. Only the first payment remains. Behavioral economists call this payment decoupling. The pleasure of receiving the product becomes separated from the pain of paying for it. Normally, buying and paying happen together. You hand over your money and your brain immediately feels the cost. With buy now, pay later, those two moments are separated by weeks or months. You enjoy the reward today. The payments arrive later, one by one, long after the excitement has disappeared. And because each payment feels relatively small, your brain rarely treats any single one as a serious financial decision. Here's where the trap becomes even more dangerous. Most people don't use buy now, pay later once. They use it several times. One purchase becomes three becomes seven. Eventually, they're not paying for today's shopping anymore. They're paying for last month's shopping, and the month before that, and the month before that too. Without realizing it, they're living in the past financially. Every paycheck arrives already carrying promises made weeks earlier. Your future income slowly becomes occupied before you even earn it. Imagine trying to walk across a bridge while carrying a backpack. One backpack isn't a problem. It's manageable. Now, imagine someone quietly placing another backpack on your shoulders every few minutes. Each one feels light by itself, but eventually the total weight becomes exhausting. That's exactly how buy now, pay later works. The danger isn't one payment, it's dozens of overlapping commitments. There's another psychological effect almost nobody talks about. Every monthly payment becomes your new normal. After a while, your brain stops questioning them completely. The streaming subscription, the phone installment, the furniture payment, the clothing payment, the buy now, pay later installment. Each one feels harmless, but together they quietly consume hundreds of dollars every month before you've made a single new decision. This is why many people feel like they receive a decent salary but never have money left at the end of the month. The paycheck isn't disappearing randomly. It's already been assigned. The scary part is that modern shopping platforms understand this psychology extremely well. That's why the buy now, pay later option is usually displayed in larger text than the actual price. Instead of saying $400, they say only $33 per month. Your attention immediately shifts away from the total cost. You stop asking, can I afford $400? And start asking, can I afford $33? Those are completely different questions. One protects your long-term finances. The other focuses only on today. This is exactly why people often end up buying products they never planned to purchase. The payment feels so small that saying yes becomes almost effortless. Now, here's something even more surprising. Buy now, pay later doesn't only affect shopping. It affects your future decision-making. Imagine your car suddenly needs an expensive repair. Normally, you'd have several $100s available to handle the emergency. But now, part of your monthly income is already committed to previous purchases. Suddenly, even a necessary expense feels stressful. Ironically, many people solve that stress by opening another buy now, pay later plan. The cycle continues, not because they're irresponsible, but because every previous commitment reduces the flexibility of future income. Over time, your financial freedom quietly shrinks, and it rarely happens overnight. It happens one comfortable payment at a time. Now, this doesn't mean buy now, pay later is always bad. Like any financial tool, it can be useful when used intentionally. If you already have the cash available and simply choose to spread payments for convenience while making sure you never miss an installment, it may help with short-term cash flow. The problem begins when buy now, pay later becomes permission to buy things you couldn't comfortably afford otherwise. That's the moment it stops being a payment method and starts being borrowed lifestyle. So how do you avoid the trap? The first step is surprisingly simple. Ignore the monthly payment completely. Whenever you see only $25 today or 4 easy payments, immediately cover that number mentally and ask yourself one question instead. Would I still buy this if I had to pay the full amount right now? If the answer is no, you probably shouldn't buy it. The second step is to keep a running list of every future payment you've already committed to. Most people underestimate how many obligations they're carrying because they're spread across different apps and different dates. Seeing them all together instantly changes your perspective. Finally, remember this. Real wealth isn't measured by how many things you can finance. It's measured by how much freedom your future income still has. Every unnecessary installment is a small claim on tomorrow's paycheck. The fewer claims your future carries, the more choices your future self will have. In the end, buy now, pay later succeeds because it changes how buying feels, not because it changes what things actually cost. It makes expensive purchases feel small. It makes tomorrow's money feel like today's money. And it quietly convinces millions of people to spend future income before they've even earned it. The people who build lasting wealth understand something simple. The greatest financial advantage isn't having access to more credit. It's keeping as much of your future income free as possible. Because financial freedom isn't about being able to buy more today. It's about giving yourself more choices tomorrow.